I'm Alex Villarreal with the VOA Special English Technology Report. A report by the Consumer Electronics Association says electronics were among the most popular gifts bought this holiday season. It also predicted that spending on these devices would set new records. The CEA said consumers were expected to spend an average of about $230 on electronics. This is 5% more than in 2009 and the highest level since the organization began keeping records of holiday spending. Jim Barry is a spokesman for the Consumer Electronics Association. He said the CEA study found that electronics represented 3 of the top 5 things on its holiday gift wish list in 2010. He said notebook computers are at the top, followed by iPads and then e-readers. iPad is a touchscreen tablet computer, and that's really the big player in that category. The computer company Apple began selling its small touchscreen computers in April. People use the touchscreen computers to surf the web, write emails, watch movies, and read books. Since the iPad's release, several other companies came out with their own tablet computers just in time for Christmas. A report from the eMarketer Research Group predicts that worldwide tablet sales will reach more than 81 million in 2012. Still, Jim Barry says these devices faced tough competition from another Christmas favorite. He said, another hot category right behind that are the e-readers. So you can read on an iPad or a touchscreen tablet, but the e-book readers are less expensive. The Kindle is the market leader there from Amazon. But you also have the Nook from Barnes & Noble and the e-reader from Sony. Jim Barry says modern technology is changing the way people relate and increasing their expectations for their electronic devices. He said, it's really the ability to take your information and entertainment with you just about anywhere, to stay connected to your work and your family. The Consumer Electronics Association report found that iPod music players were also in high demand this holiday season. So were video game systems and digital cameras. But not all of the things on the holiday gift wish list involved electronics. The one thing that people wanted most, Jim Barry said, at the top of the list was peace and happiness. For VOA Special English, I'm Alex Villarreal.
This is the VOA Special English Education Report. Many new college graduates in the United States have trouble finding a job in the weak economy. But not graduates from the California Maritime Academy. The Academy is the only school of its kind on the West Coast. Students attend classes on the university campus in Northern California. But they also gain experience by going to sea in a floating classroom, the training ship Golden Bear. 288 cadets recently sailed on a 2-month international training cruise. The ship travels south to the Panama Canal. Along the way, it visits countries in Central America and the Caribbean. Vasile Tudoran is a mechanical engineering student at the California Maritime Academy. He spends much of his time working deep in the heart of the ship. He says he is not worried about finding a job. Robert Jackson is one of his teachers. He says the majority of the Academy's students have between 1 and 2 job offers before they complete their studies. He says most of those job offers are between $60,000 and $120,000 a year. In addition to working on ships, he says, engineering graduates from the Academy also get jobs with power companies and satellite companies. Instructor Bill Schmidt says the situation for marine transportation students is not as bright as it was before the economic downturn, but it is recovering. He says most Academy graduates are employed in the industry if they want to be. He also says the coursework is demanding because ships' officers are almost like doctors or airplane pilots. He says people working in the shipping industry have to make the right decision all the time. He says a success rate of 70% is unacceptable. The California Maritime Academy has a 94% job placement rate. Still, only about 900 students are currently studying there. Cadet Andrew DeTucci says the Academy is different from a traditional college. It is a paramilitary school, and the students must wear uniforms. Andrew DeTucci is majoring in marine transportation. He says when he was growing up, he was always told it takes a special person to want to go to sea for a living. In his words, my favorite thing about it is waking up every morning and seeing nothing but the ocean on all sides of you. I get a thrill out of that. For VOA Special English, I'm Mario Ritter.
This is the VOA Special English Economics Report. In early April, President Obama announced his plans to seek re-election in November of next year. In an email to supporters, Mr. Obama said, "The race may not reach full speed for a year or more." But he said the work of building the campaign must start today. Some of that work will depend on how many jobs are created in the months ahead. Mr. Obama welcomed a report that the United States economy added 216,000 jobs in March. The unemployment rate dropped 0.1% for the second straight month. The unemployment rate edged down to 8.8%, the lowest in 2 years. And some economists say this spring may be the start of better news to come. Consumer spending has been increasing. Stephen Hess is a political scientist who studies the presidency at the Brookings Institution in Washington. He says the next election will more than anything else depend on employment in the United States. Labor Secretary Hilda Solis pointed out that the economy has added jobs for 12 months in a row. She says the economy has added 1.5 million private sector jobs. But, she added, we need to continue to not lose sight of where we need to go to increase opportunities for people to get employed in new jobs. President Obama has filled a top job in his party as he prepares to seek a second term. He chose Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida to head the Democratic National Committee. She replaces Tim Kaine, who plans to run for the Senate from Virginia next year. Among Republicans, former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty recently formed a committee to explore a presidential campaign. Several other Republicans are also considering races for their party's nomination. The latest jobs report showed that 13.5 million Americans remained unemployed in March. Another concern is that oil prices remained over $100 a barrel. High energy prices could threaten the recovery from the recession. In another development, Portugal became the latest member of the European Union with heavy debts to request emergency loans. Portugal joined Greece and Ireland, which have also received aid. Portuguese opposition parties refused to accept budget cuts proposed by Prime Minister José Sócrates. For VOA Special English, I'm Carolyn Presutti. For more ways to learn American English and stay informed every day, go to voaspecialenglish.com from your computer or mobile device.